Hey, this is the afternoon edition of what I was doing yesterday. Yesterday could count as the evening edition. Sorry, there's no morning and no night edition because I won't be up that early. Yeah. Figured I'd come out here and, just, talk. Why not? This is a shirt my dad's mother got me back when she was in Sedona recently. Hey, Robin. Kevin. Oh, I just now noticed the table. Ah. Yeah, my mom's mother had actually made this design. I like it. It's pretty with the tiling. That's custom. She didn't have that ordered. She made that herself, I think. And I'm using internet right now, so it might be good quality. I don't know, so don't quote me on it. Oh, hey, Robin. But yeah, I don't know if you guys are. I'm curious about what Blah. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm curious. Robin, I do remember you. Weren't you Wisconsin rail fanning or rail fanner at some point? Don't quote me on that because I'm probably an idiot and don't even remember. It's hard to tell for the camera. I thought as much. Hang on. Of course, there's no signal. Yeah, Wisconsin Railroader. That's it. Thank you. Yeah. I'm honestly curious because I've noticed a lot of my newer stuff that I've been releasing over the course of the year hasn't been getting as many views as what I had in the past. Is that due to just because of the videos being on the channel longer? And I'm talking about stuff from 2016 to mid-late 2015, mid-late 2016, early 2017 is what I'm talking about. Stuff from like 2-3 years back. A lot of it hasn't exactly gotten. A lot of the stuff I've been releasing recently just hasn't gotten a lot of views. Is it because I'm not putting like tags in the videos, or is it because of the fact that the videos are just not real interesting? Or is it because they're not popular? I'm curious because I'm just wanting to try and improve how I film, and not only that, I'm also wanting to try and improve just in terms of what I film in general. I've said all this once before, so you don't have to hear me say it again. Well, mainly in terms of what I'm talking about, it's random. So I might go from talking about my channel to something completely unrelated and different. I'm just pointing that out there. But right now, I do want to talk about my channel. I will say that. I will say that. Ow. Yeah, the reason I'm wanting to talk about it is because, like I said, a lot of the videos I've been uploading recently as a few days ago, haven't really been getting a lot of views. A lot of the stuff I filmed that isn't like live streams. So I've noticed a lot of my live streams have gotten tons of views, but I'm just curious, okay? That's the thing. I'm just curious because I don't know really as to what I should do. Because I don't know if I don't know if it's because I don't edit my videos or if I don't include tags. I really don't know. But I'll say this. I mean, if y'all could give me some suggestions or ideas as to what I should do, that would be nice. That is something that's only in... That's something that only is in Jesse's control, because I don't want to force him to do a video with me in it if he has other plans. That sucker bounced back, didn't it? Hear the cows out there? That's not on this property. That's on an entirely different property, but you can see them over there. Hey, Georgia Rail Fanning, love the new NS engine you got there. I heard that sucker wrecked, and I remember reading in a comment about it where someone joked, that's what happens when Norfolk Southern paints an engine in CSX colors. I guess so. CSX does have a lot of derailments, I will admit that. But, yeah, I mean, I am curious as to, you know, if, like, I should edit my videos. Because I do, there is something, yeah, 4001. The big diesel equivalent of the Union Pacific Big Boy 4000. But, yeah. I will say this. There is some video I have filmed at the Callaway Plantation a few days ago. And I never did the intro in the beginning like I normally do. I ended up doing it last. In fact, there's a whole 1-minute video. And I never got to do it in the beginning because we had already started the tour, so I figured, oh, I'll just do it last. Oh, hang on. There's a bird's nest up here. Hang on. Let me see if I can get it here. I don't know if you guys can see that center frame, but this is a bird's nest right here. Can you guys see it? It's right there in center frame. Dang it, zoom, hang on, let me send yeah. I was going to see if Jesse could walk me through on how to edit videos. Or not how to edit, I'm going to ask him if he could walk me through on how to send him videos again, because I've done that twice. I sent him 2 videos via Gmail, and I was going to try and do the same thing again, but with this footage. I'm going to send him the first part of the video which I filmed, and just the bit I filmed at the end of the tour which I was on, because I did this all, like I said, at the end. Sorry, y'all, I got annoyed by these limbs. Oh, here's something that's rotted. Yes, mate. What's this? Broke like a twig. I said broke like a twig. But yeah, I was going to see if I could get Jesse to... I was going to see if I could talk to Jesse whenever he's available and ask him if he could, to walk me through on how to send videos to him via Gmail again, because I've forgotten. And I was going to ask him to edit the bit of the intro I did for the video into the first part, like before the first part. Where, you know, I do like, hey guys, Road Preserver 2000 here, back again doing, you know, a video here, and in this video I'm at so-and-so, that sort of thing. But what I did was, yeah, you'll see it when I upload it. And the video isn't like a long, continuous video. I actually was having to stop recording due to batteries dying and whatnot, and due to the camera getting too hot. So it's actually multiples recordings, but they're all long, and they're all long. None of them are short, except for like the bit at the end. So, yeah, let me get back into the chat here, okay? Because I'm sorry, y'all. Let me see here. You know, you all are more than welcome to chat. I only turned the chat thing off for me so I could actually zoom out on the camera at that one point. But yeah. So I'm curious, what are y'all doing all this? What are all y'all doing this summer, and who all's still in the stream too? That's also what something I'm wondering about. Who all is still in the stream? You know, y'all are more than welcome to let me know what y'all's summer plans are. Are y'all going to do any rail fanning, going on any trips, going to see any relatives? I'm just curious. I mean, you don't have to tell me if you don't feel comfortable with it. Because I know I'm going to be trying next, I think Wednesday in July, the 25th. I'm going to be heading back up to Asheville, North Carolina to go to the Biltmore estate. And I went there before due to the 4G signal being spotty, so I'm sorry. You can see down there is actually all these limbs that I've been gathering. Lucky I've actually, you guys want to know something crazy? I've never been on Amtrak, never, not even once. Never been on there. I could have asked the guy over here this limb over the fence. I could have gotten it for him. I get limbs that come off these trees, and I'm just putting them out here. Stupid bugs. Ugh. Old barbed wire. It looks almost like a piece of wire here. Yeah, look. It's gotten like pulled up, or unless I don't know, it's hanging here. I don't actually have to look. These posts are old, but they're still holding up. Do this stuff while I can. That long stick I've got at my dad's. All it is a walking stick. Oh, hello. Someone down there. I think there is. Oh, well. Yeah, I have a walking stick down an actual tree branch, a tree limb. I don't know what kind of wood it is. I think it's oak. Sorry, all that's streaming out. Why not? Hey, Mike Thomas. All right, George, just see you later, man. Yeah, we're going to be going back to the trip. It'll be an hour going on. We're going to be going up to Biltmore, I think on the July the 25th, I think. I don't know. But we're going to go up there to just glasswork. It's going to be on display in the Biltmore Estates Gardens. And since I can't film in the house, I'll just settle with the gardens. That's the problem. I won't let you film anything, and that includes museums. I mean, Biltmore, I know, I can understand why. They don't want people exploiting what they give out, but there's still like hundreds and thousands of videos on the Biltmore estate on YouTube, so you can't stop people from filming it, okay? If people find it interesting, they won't they're going to film it. It's that simple. If people find it interesting, they're going to film it. I find something interesting, I want to film it because it's like a lot of these abandoned buildings. People go out and try and film. They because you'd be surprised in reasonably good shape. Heck, I remember reading once there was a oh nice Kevin. I've never been to Los Angeles. Have fun. Yeah, I read somewhere where there was this abandoned textile mill, and it still they shut the plant down. There's no vandalism, nothing stolen, nothing moved, nothing destroyed. Everything is exactly where it was, exactly as it was when the place closed. And I think it's on the National Register of Historic Places. I can't remember where I saw the photos of it from. I can't remember. But all I know is I was stunned, both stunned and amazed. And that's why I love urban exploration, because sometimes you get lucky and find places like that. And an urban explorer's rule is take nothing but pictures, leave nothing but footprints. Which means, you only go in to photograph or film it, but not to take anything or steal anything. And you leave nothing but footprints because you don't want to leave behind any, damage, because you don't want to go in, because urban explorers don't go in and tear up everything. Those that film don't, because, for obvious reasons. But it was that small cabin I filmed recently when I went to Kettle Creek Battlefield. That's the first place I've actually been to that's, I guess, abandoned. It's right beside the road, though, invisible. And there was like zero no trespassing signs. But, then again, you can never be sure. Even if a place is abandoned, even if there's not a no trespassing sign, it's either, I think the rule goes for if a place is abandoned without any owner, I think that means that the state owns it or something. I don't know. Don't quote me on this because I'm probably not correct on that. But I'd love to do urban exploration. Ask the owners of the property first if I could go in and film, or if they could, tell me where it's safe to go and where it's not safe to go. Because, a lot of these places are also falling in. Take, for example, like, there's an abandoned textile mill in Watkinsville, Georgia. And YouTubers Decay is Headed Your Way filmed it 7 or 8 years ago. Unfortunately, most of the videos on their channel have since been privated by them. And I hate it. I enjoyed their videos. And I enjoyed what they filmed because they filmed a lot of the buildings that were near me. And they went inside that plant, built the machinery for the textile mills and shipped it out by rail because the rail line, the edge. But I noticed recently putting in roof on some of it. That makes me wonder, are they trying to reopen some of the mill? What they should do is convert the buildings over into like a public space. Like a lot of these old textile mills here in Georgia, some of them have been converted into animals, some of them have been converted into apartments. That's what I'd love to see them do with most of these abandoned buildings. And there's hundreds, thousands of them. Homes, businesses, factories, hospitals. All of that could be repurposed and reused. Instead of just tearing it down, you could repurpose it. And easier. It costs a lot more, but it'd be easier, and plus the buildings would last. So all you'd have to do is like upgrade them or modernize them. But you could leave the actual walls and whatnot. Because they just don't build stuff like that anymore. It's a lost art. You take modern homes like this and see how long it'll last when abandoned. It'll fall in very quickly, these modern homes. But there's an old home on the way to Washington, Georgia that I'm fond of that recently had the entire roof fall in, the whole roof. Okay? Yet, despite the entire roof falling in, all 4 walls of the home were still standing. Both floors. Like, the building has essentially now become a facade, and it's completely abandoned. My grandmother knew of the people who owned the place. She didn't know them personally, but she knew of the people who owned it. They used to hold parties in the house when it was in its grandest of fashions, but apparently it was called the Hogan's House. I don't know if that's true, but they had a lot of roof damage. The home was suffering from a lot of water damage, so they had put a tarp over it. And I even said to the person who told me about the name of the house that the tarp doesn't save it. You can build a house no matter how strong you can build a house, no matter how durable, it'll always fall apart. I mean, I know a lot of these old homes that are abandoned now, they're complete in like really bad shape. I know they may look good, but inside they're usually trashed because most of the time vandals get to them over the years. But aside from that, I mean, a lot of urban explorers have come about. There's a lot of them on YouTube. And they really, what they do is like I said earlier, they take nothing but photos, or in this case video, of them exploring the building. They don't take anything. They don't take anything from inside the building. They don't destroy anything. They don't steal anything. They only go in and film the building because they also like to go and find the history of the place, because a lot of these abandoned buildings, back when they closed, there wasn't really any regulations stating that you needed to get everything out of it. Heck, it's like some of these old towns. If there's an old, like say there's an old mining town, like take Bodie, California or something like that, where people had to leave overnight and couldn't get their belongings. When that place gets abandoned, everything is left exactly as it was when the people left. Heck, there's a town in British Columbia, I think, either British Columbia or Oregon, where when the mining dried up, the company said, you guys got to leave overnight. They couldn't take anything the people couldn't take anything with them. And as a result, people who go there today are shocked to see stuff from like the 1960s or 70s still as it was exactly when the people left. Everything is relatively untouched, which is incredible. I know a lot of times that's not the case, but it is amazing to see and to think, people lived here at one point. And now it's like, what happened? Where did everybody go? But what would be neat is if, like I said, a lot of these buildings were repurposed. Like, there's old hotels all over America that are either abandoned or shut down. Really old ones from, like, I think the 20s or 30s. A lot of these small towns that could be reopened and redeveloped. It just takes people with a lot of vision, a lot of money, and a lot of enthusiasm and creativity to do it. Personally, in my opinion, though, if they were going to be redeveloped, I'd looked in the 20s. You can modernize everything, but at least keep the interior as vintage as you can make it with modern day stuff. Because a lot of the stuff they used to build these buildings back then does not exist anymore. Heck, with the Biltmore, you couldn't rebuild that house today. Even if you wanted to, you wouldn't be able to, because of the fact there's so many new building codes and regulations that have come up into place since Biltmore's construction. But Biltmore is not abandoned. It's basically a shrine, as it were, to the Gilded Age / Victorian / Edwardian era, if you will, because everything in that house is original to the house, and it's stuff that is pretty much hardly made anymore. Most of what you see in that house, much of what you see in how it's built now, it's a lost art now. A lot of these old mines out in California where they dig underground and into the mountains, that's a lost art. Every method they used back in that era of mining is a lost art. A lot of this stuff is just, in general, a lost art now. People just don't do it anymore, or there's just nobody left alive who had the experience of how to do it in that kind of way. Most of those guys who did it, or who were masters at it, are either dead or just their children just didn't care about carrying it on now, unfortunately, and they should have done that. And I hate it. I wish a few of these architects nowadays would go and try and attempt to try and recreate some of these old houses that had the grandeur, that have like Like, I'd love to see an architect, revive some of these styles of housing, from like the 1890s, 1900s, which have these beautiful designs on it. Because you just don't see any of that on modern houses anymore, and I'd love to see a revival in that. Because it's unique and people love it. People nowadays love it because it's so rare. I mean, I know if someone were to come back with it, it wouldn't be rare and people would just lose interest in it all over again. But now I think I'm starting to see with my generation in general, they're starting to see why I love all this vintage stuff like I do. Because it's getting rarer and harder to find, and people want to see if they can document it as best as they can. And frankly, that's why I like to film most of the time. It's like all of this that you see me film, like all these antiques, all these old houses, all these museums, I film them because one, I find them interesting, and two, everything they have is stuff you just don't see anymore. And a museum like that is the only place you'll ever be able to actually see it in person. And frankly, that's why I like it. Because those places are able to make sure that stuff still will exist. And for people who come well after me and all, will be able to see it for themselves. And that's what I like. And the same thing I think can be said for all these car designs too now. I would like to see them come out with maybe like heritage paint schemes. You can't bring designs from like the 20s into the 70s and 80s back, but you can bring the paint styles back. With like the red on the top, red on bottom, and then like the white streak with some chrome in the center. I'd love to see that on a car design now. Like, I'd love to see that kind of paint style brought back on a newer car. Same with the chrome. I mean, everybody loves these old cars because of the paint jobs and the chrome jobs, because you just don't see that anymore. It's like I say, a lot of what I like is stuff you just cannot find or see anymore. And I mean, frankly, that's why urban explorers like all that kind of stuff, because it's rare, it's hard to find, you can't see it anymore, you just don't see it anymore, and it's just not made anymore. And it's because nothing is made in the quality that existed back then. Back when a lot of these old houses were built and all these old cars were made, all of that stuff was made to last. Okay, all these appliances you see nowadays, they're only made to last, 2, 4, maybe at the most, lucky, if you're lucky, 10 years, and then they just, clunk out on you, and you got to buy a new one. Back then, that wasn't the case. Heck, there's people who here's an interesting or rather, when I was at Pulaski Hatch Barbecue a few days ago, I was walking along the side of the warehouse, and I saw where one of the store owners had driven a 1952 Chevy to his job. Okay, it wasn't put on display there. That was a car that could still be driven. I mean, it looked like it needed its paint touched up, but the sucker was still able to be driven, and there's no telling if the motor was original in it, but if it was, that proves my point. Stuff like that was made to last, and it can still work despite its age. It may have rust on it, it may have wear and tear on it, but if you give it just the right amount of care, it'll actually still work, and it can still get something done. And that's what I like about all this vintage machinery, and why I have an interest in it, because it may be old, but I bet you if you could get some power or some form of energy to it, it could probably still do the job it was intended to do perfectly, if not a bit slower, of course. That's what I like about it. That's what I like about it. But, I mean, frankly, I don't think anyone will be willing to go back to that. I don't know. I'm pretty sure no company on earth will ever go back to that form of quality now, where they build things to last, because everybody cares about money more or less now, because it seems like nowadays it's all about making a profit off the worker's back. And frankly, back then, I mean, when people did their job, they did it, and when they put something together, they put it together with enough quality and artistry that it lasted well after the person who made it probably died. Okay? take for example, I've seen a video of like a steam engine that had been built 100 or something years prior to when the video was filmed, and it was in rough shape. Despite it being in rough shape, it still worked, and it actually still got what it was intended to do done, which is incredible. Heck, there's an and if you think that's amazing, there's an 1832 built pumping station that still utilizes an old 1830s era steam engine that was built in England, and it still works. It's still pumping water to this day. Okay, and I mean, the thing is made as a museum now. It was made into a museum back in the 1930s, but it's still working. Try being able to say that with a modern water pump. And boundless, 5 plus 10 does not equal 47. It equals, I think, 15. Yeah, 5 plus 10 equals 15. Even I'm a little good with math, but I'm not good at it all. I tell you though, I do wish people did bring that form of quality back with, electronics and all. I mean, at least with cars, because, I mean, if I were to ever get a car, I want one that'll actually last more than 10 years without having a dang problem. Oh Lord, New England winters, they are brutal. They are brutal. But, yeah. I mean, I'm sorry if I'm rambling on about these things, y'all, but you can see why I named the stream just talking. I mean, I can go from, I'm kind of like my grandmother Ella B and her friend Miss Gail. 1 minute they're going, 1 minute they're talking about one thing, and then the next minute, oh, hello, buddy. Freaking carpenter bee. You see how close he got to me? Ugh. I'm sorry, but I hate insects, flying insects. Ugh. I hate them. The reason being for that is because I got stung by a wasp when I was real little, so yeah, that's why I've got a fear of them. Oh Lord, dude. Can I say something? You'd think we don't even have winter in Georgia. You're wrong, we do, and it's just as brutal. We may not have snow, but we got ice sometimes. And if we don't get ice, it's cold to the bone. Okay, I've stood out on school days in like 20, 30 degree weather. The lowest I think was like 15 to 8 degrees. I don't know exactly if it was 8 degrees, but it was fairly close to that point. Okay. And you got to remember, sometimes I wait out there like 10, sometimes 15, maybe 20 minutes for the bus, depending on how early I get up and get ready and get out there. So, yeah. I'm glad everybody's able to join the stream. Yeah. I don't know about Florida, though. They're so far south, you'd think they wouldn't get any cold weather, but they do. Who, me? No, I'm from Georgia. I've lived in Georgia for pretty much since my birth in 2000, dude. Hence the last part of my YouTube name. Been going on 18 years now. Well, I think that's a rare occasion. You have no idea how long I've waited to see snow. That's why I filmed it when, if you guys saw my live stream titled simply as Snow, that's because it was so rare for me to see it. Because I remember one winter, we never got any snow at all. And when we did get it, it wasn't enough to satisfy me. I do know 10 years ago, we got snow that was falling in clumps, and it was so much it knocked the power out. Okay? We don't even get snow like that anymore. In just 10 years, we've lost most of that snow. Hey, my Saki Gaming. How do you pronounce that? I'm just curious. How do you pronounce that? Maya or my Mia? I get names confused. Okay, now, some of these YouTube names I can't pronounce. Okay, I'm sorry. Maya Saki. I'm curious. I mean, is that Japanese? I mean, just let me know if I'm right on that. If not, just let me know how it's pronounced. Okay, I think it's Miyasaki or William. Okay, sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that would have been really annoying. Yeah, I mean, William, how have you been doing since my first time meeting you at Biltmore? I'm glad to see your channel's doing well. You know, I don't know. I mean, do you live near the Biltmore estate? Because I'm coming back up there this July to see Dale Chihuli's work. Who knows? Maybe we could probably meet up at the depot in Asheville. They have it as like a bar slash restaurant now. And, yeah. Oh. I mean, what state do you live in? I'm just curious. I mean, is it anywhere near me, or is it like up the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, Northeast, Southeast? I'm just curious. Because, I mean, I live here in Georgia, where it's like currently right now, hot as you know what. Like, literally, it's probably like 80, 90 degrees out right now. I can't look. Actually, I can. Hold on. Los Angeles, you live in... I didn't know you lived in Vegas. Or are you making that up? Sorry, I had to. I'd imagine homes in Las Vegas would be expensive as frig. It's like Charleston. Charleston has a lot of stuff. It's an inexpensive place to live at. I mean, it's a great place to live, but it's probably so expensive to live there you wouldn't last a day financially. I'd love to live there. I know my mom would love to live there because of all the history, but since it's like the #1 tourist destination, it's just very expensive. Yes. I'm live right now. Oh Lord, I bet in LA it's hot. Hold on, y'all. I'll be able to let y'all know the temperature too. Hold on. And gentlemen, it is 84 degrees southern brutality weather wise. So yeah, pretty sure we're gonna be baking out here soon enough. Surprised the water ain't boiled out of the dang bird out here. Lord. I know in Vegas out there in Nevada, it'd be hot as, excuse my language, hot as hell. Yes, due to the temperature, it's perfect to use that, okay? Pardon thy French. I know it gets like real cold in Nevada at night, correct? Well, 92. It's only about 10 to 11 degrees up above us, so... Yeah. It's funny, I got like a water spigot right there, but I don't know if I could turn it on because I'd probably get in trouble. Lucky devil. Lucky devil. Look at my video titled Snow Day Fail. That's the last time I think we ever got snow that actually stuck to the ground. It snowed further in towards Atlanta because it was further north of us. That's why when I filmed... I never filmed outside the Verizon Amphitheater in Atlanta, but when I went to see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, there was still snow on the ground in Atlanta. It hadn't melted yet. It was cold, but the snow hadn't melted yet. But, yeah, in Athens, we only got it falling on the ground. It never stuck. Oof. Yeah, the buzzing you're hearing, I don't know if you can hear it, but the buzzing, I'll show you. You'll find this interesting, probably. It's carpenter bees. We have carpenter bees up here. Oh, hang on, that's my face. That's not a carpenter bee. Blah. Blah, 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 blah. And if you look up there, you can see these things have been boring. They're pretty much the bee equivalent to termites. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There's 17, 18, and 19. There's 19 carpenter bee holes in the boards here. I know at LB's old house on Barnett Shoals, or, you know, away from there, it's not on Barnett Shoals. I just say that because that's just the road that's close to it. Like, away from Barnett Shoals, there was the board in front of the garage, and it got eat up by carpenter bees so much, it almost looked like that somebody had taken a saw through it and had started cutting. Excuse me, not 17, there's actually 18. And oh my god, there is a spider up there. It's dead, but it's right there. It's an old granddaddy long legs. Hey, William. I wonder, can I zoom in on my face? Oh god, yes I can. Well, this is an issue. Hold on a minute. Let me get it off the stream. It might refresh that. And if y'all are seeing this, although it's upside down for me, it's upside down for y'all. Why not? Oh, there it goes. And now it's sideways. Beat that. Turning it like this, I beat the system. Is it sideways for y'all? Let me know if it is in the chat. Oh, there went my glasses. There we go. I know, I hate him too. Really, Boundless? Really? Cut the sarcasm, boy. It's not going to get you anywhere later on in life. It's that simple. We'll try to set up now. So, yeah, there's a delay, obviously. Is the stream quality good? Let me know if the quality is good, because I can't tell when I'm filming with this thing. It looks nice. The quality is okay to me because I'm the one who's filming it, but I don't know, because normally when I look at it on my computer, when I'm comparing the stream, when I am recording, because, you know, when I'm recording inside, I play the same stream on my computer but have it muted so I can look at the picture quality and see if it's actually able to be viewed. If it's not, I usually don't keep the stream. If it is, I keep it. Without any interruptions and delays and whatnot with this one. I guess you could say... yeah, I might be able to keep this one. Yeah, and if you're wondering, I'm just chilling out here because I don't know if we were going to be able to go do anything. But that's another reason why I'm live streaming. Not only am I live streaming to talk, it's giving me something to do. So I'd sit around and do nothing all day. What am I saying? That is what I'm doing now. I think the only thing I'm getting use out of right now is my mouth. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to. That was too funny. But it is true. I think the only thing I've used right now is my head and my mouth right now. Everything else is just like... yeah. It is pretty out here, I will say that. Despite it being hot as blue blazes, it is pretty. I tell you. There's just some of these roads, you know, where there's a certain spot. You know, Well, let me rephrase all this. You know how when you go down certain roads, even if you've been down them for a while, you ever get the feeling you should just stop and just take a photo of that exact road at just a certain point which you feel is pretty? Due to just how the light is shining through, or just how the color is made up due to just the light composition? That's how it is with me. I actually did try to do that while I was at Edisto. Because on the the only road in and out of Edisto, there's these real big, pretty oak trees that are there that line the road. I call them tree tunnels, but they're all old oak trees, and yeah. Wanted to photograph them with either my phone or my camera because of how the lighting looked on them. I don't have a real good quality camera that makes those astonishing photos of, just plants or an area. Because I know, like a lot of these wooded areas are pretty because of just how the light is spread out through all the trees and whatnot. Yeah. See you, William. Hey, you ever down here in Georgia, you know where to look for me. Hope we can meet again. Yeah, I did that at the Botany Bay Plantation on the only road leading to it. Because there's this row of oak trees leading into the plantation, and oh my God, it's beautiful. It's real beautiful. I think I've actually said once, I think my photography is better than my videoing, and I think that's true. Because if you look at some of my photos, their quality is far better than the videos I film with my camera or my phone. Because it's not shaky, the image isn't blurry. But like right now, all of it is shaky. Because I'm filming, but yeah. Before you say anything, I'm not using my legs to move this thing, I'm using my arms. So, yeah. Thank you, William. I think I'm lifting part of this thing or bending it. Trying to see if I can get an interesting camera angle because of this. Because if I hold it level with the actual armrest and time it, the camera will probably move, because the camera doesn't follow something if it moves up unless I make it follow, if something's turning, or if I move it in a certain way to where you can catch something. Kind of like with what I did at the Hunley Museum recently with George Dixon's coin. Yeah. But, yeah. Due to this stream almost being an hour, I believe that I will end it here, so yeah. That being said, that is pretty much it, so yeah. Till next time, and in the words of the Terminator himself, hasta la vista, baby.